What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aidan Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. It's Saturday. It is the date of the final preseason game for the Detroit Lions. It seems like this preseason has flown by incredibly fast, but we get through today. You guys all know what happens next. You got the 53-man cut down day on Tuesday by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is going to be the last chance, last gas opportunity for a whole lot of players on this team and every NFL team, to be fair, to make their way onto the 53-man roster. There'll be guys going on the field, throwing everything in their prospective tanks out there to try to impress, try to move on up and into one of those secured spots. We're going to be talking about that a little bit during the main topic today. Of course, we got 5 headlines now, and let's all say, hey, you get through today's preseason game just as a fan. Now you only have a couple weeks to go until you get to the regular season. Yes, we all know it starts off with a Thursday night game. It will not be the Lions, but I think everybody's going to be circling on their calendars when the Detroit Lions play the Green Bay Packers to start the regular NFL season at 4:30 p.m. over in Green Bay. So anyways, let's get into the 5 headlines now. Let's get into everything in between. But before we do, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 67 subs away from hitting 14,300. If you can assist with that, man, I surely would be thankful. Also, while you're watching the show, if you can take a half second of time, reach on down, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, you see it rolling down the bottom of your screen. If you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation how I can use over 30 years in the real estate industry to save you time, save you money, save you hassles. Man, make sure nobody overcharge you. Talked to a few of you guys yesterday from other states, so feel free to give me a call. This can be for vacant land, commercial property, new house, old house, anything in between. If it's real estate involved, I can help you out. All right, all that done, set out of the way. You know what? It'll be a fairly light news day today because, hey, it's the day of a game. There's not usually a whole lot coming out, but let's get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming our way to start off your Saturday morning. No long-term injury concerns for Veterans Center. Lions release offensive line. SI.com, story by John Macron. Probably a big news headline here because let's face it, one of the biggest worries going into this season is the interior of the Detroit Lions offensive line. Most of you are aware, a couple days ago in training camp, during joint practices with Texans, hey, Graham Glasgow left the field. There were a lot of people speculating could have been a knee injury, lower leg injury. All we do know from reporters there is that while he did walk off the field, he walked off on his own feet, didn't have any issues, didn't have to be carted off, didn't have like any kind of, issue with the walk or whatever. He would look pretty clean. And now it's been confirmed from Justin Rogers of Pro Football Network. No issues, minor in nature. He's expected to be totally fine. Well, I think that's a big win for the Detroit Lions because we all know Graham Glasgow had a bunch of injuries last year, struggled at times with his protection, but it sounds like he's going to be totally fine by week 1 of the regular season. That's a big news. to double dip on this one. I didn't have enough time yesterday doing dad stuff. My daughter's here a few more days before she goes back home, gets ready for school, all that kind of stuff. Aleem McNeil is ahead of schedule. We talked about Mekhi Wingo coming back, getting cleared, having some level of workout during the Lions preseason the last week or so here. And that's a big win for the Lions. But Aleem McNeil gave a bit of an update. It is sounding more and more like his timeline is getting pushed up. He's had some speculation in the last month and a half that maybe it wouldn't be around Thanksgiving that he returns, but maybe it would be earlier in, say, middle of October, maybe the start of October. He's gave an update to WXYZ Detroit and got on there, talked to them, and said he feels like he's way ahead of schedule. He feels real good right now. They're still being protective with him. They haven't cleared him like they did with Mekhi Wingo. I think everybody's come to the same conclusion. You get to the end of September, maybe the last week of September or the first week or so of October, that could be when Aleem McNeil gets back. Aleem, the Dream McNeil, he gets back there. You think about that defensive line rotation at that point, especially the interior defensive line. Man, the Lions might really have something there because Tyleik Williams has looked really strong. You've got DJ Reader. We all know what to expect out of him. He's going to shut down the whole lot of the middle of the field as far as running lanes. Is he going to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback? Maybe not. But you start adding in Aleem with those two, along with Lopez and some of the other guys that potentially are going to make the team. I think the Lions might just have one of the best interior defensive line setups in the entire NFL. We'll see if that holds out as the season gets near. All right, going to the next of the 5 headlines. Now, this one's going to be one that we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe it was, on the show. But the heavy story by Ann Erickson chimed up again. I did not notice this, but apparently Ann Erickson did. Ben Johnson takes a dig at the Lions in latest comments. So I talked about whatever it was, the score in Chicago, interview there. I do not know if she's referencing that same interview or if it's a completely different one. All I know is the headline's out there. If you want to Google this, you can literally copy and paste it and find it probably on the interweb. But Ben Johnson, clearly the comments by Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs really struck a chord with him. I mentioned that with that score, and I think it's 690, the score. I don't know. I don't really listen to Chicago stuff that often. But anyway, those comments where they said, man, that he's using our plays, kind of laughing at him, poking fun. He can't come up with your own stuff, can't come up with new stuff. What'd you do? Just take John Morton's offensive playbook and basically copy and paste it over in Chicago? It does seem like that, especially if, I've heard from a number of you guys last night about the Chiefs and Bears. Sorry, I couldn't really respond much. I was watching a movie with my daughter. So anyways, but it does seem like these comments from the Detroit Lions players have really upset Ben Johnson. You want to check out the story, go for it, but it does seem like Ben Johnson is starting to circle the Lions on his calendar more and more. There's a number of quotes in this story. I haven't read through all of it, but it doesn't take long to see all the quotes from Ben Johnson. He's upset with the comments. He thinks that's not fair. He thinks the Lions players are kind of throwing some shade in at him. He's willing to throw shade back. You know what? Let this rivalry get going. It's going to be a WWE experience when the Lions take on the Bears, I think week 2 of the regular season. I won't be surprised if, say St. Brown or somebody running down the sidelines nearing the Bears and Ben Johnson hits somebody from behind with a steel chair when the refs aren't looking, of course. That would be a WWE reference or pro wrestling reference, I guess. All right, what are the odds of the Lions roster bubble players getting claimed on waivers? Question mark story by Jeff Rislin, Lions Wire. I'll answer this one even without reading the story. I think you get to about 10 or 20 of the Lions players, there'll be a whole lot of NFL teams. I mean, player 54 through 60, maybe 65. I think a whole lot of those players are going to be claimed potentially by teams. I also think you're going to have a lot of teams calling Detroit Lions after today saying, hey, what do we got to do to acquire this player, that player? Brad Holmes is going to be no different than every other general manager throughout the NFL. He's going to more or less talk to teams after today, if he hasn't already, and say, hey, we're probably moving on from this guy. I hear you have interest. Most NFL GMs have conversations with each other once or twice a week. And yeah, sometimes they'll talk about, hey, I'm trading for, what would it take to get Trey Hendrickson? What would it take to get your first round pick in 2047? You just general kind of conversations, keep the wheels moving between teams. But they also talk about, we might have to let go of this particular person or that particular person. Would you have any interest? And I do think the next 48 hours, 72 hours are just going to see a ton of these conversations happen with all teams. And yes, people are going to want to know about Sailors, the running back for the Detroit Lions, or maybe some of our cornerbacks, maybe some of our wide receivers. I'm guessing a whole lot of these guys do not have much of a chance to clear waivers. Who are some of the people on the list? I'm going to let everybody, kind of chime in. But how about Mitchell Oguye? I think the chance of him making it back to Detroit, if we cut him, are probably pretty slim. I think he's shown pretty well. I could see him making it back, but I'd also say if I had to put a number on it, I'd say there's an 80% chance he couldn't return because somebody will claim him. This next guy, I would say there's about a 95% chance. There's no way he makes it back to Detroit if we cut him, and that's Keith Cooper Jr. Oh, boy. He's shown so well out there. How he wasn't drafted, I think that would be a real interesting conversation for every front office in the NFL. I don't think he's a home run to make the team, but I'd say he's a solid triple. That's probably the best way to word it because, he's got size, he's got athleticism, he can play anywhere on the defensive line. It's hard to find people like that. The fact that you got him for nothing other than a bag of donuts and some peanuts, maybe a hot dog and a delicious Mountain Dew from the Circle K, I just don't see the way the Lions could put him out there. I think they've got to keep him, and if they don't, somebody's going to say thank you very much for the Detroit Lions doing that. Kingsley Ukwan, we're talking about another guy with a massive amount of upside. Why? Because he's a guard who can play center, mostly as probably a backup position. But Kingsley, he's a real nice backup position for anybody to have on their offensive line. He could make it through, though. I could see maybe a 60% chance somebody acquires him if we cut him. But that also means there's a 40% chance you can make it back. Anybody who's cut, here's from my coaching experience, I'd say the first 20 guys cut out that 90. Those are, I don't want to say easy, but, hey, you're pretty safe. If you cut them, you'll be able to get them back if you so desire. After that, I think it's where it becomes a real flip of the coin, whether you can get them back or whether or not they should even be on the team. There's enough there for you to have kept them around that far into the selection process. There's also something about them that you're not totally sold on, but other NFL teams are going to view it differently than you. Kingsley, you can't keep everybody, but I'd say there's at least some chance to get him back. Next one, I think he's got a real good shot to make the team. Whether or not his versatility will be enough, and we'll be talking about this, I have no doubt, during the main topic today. Eric Hollick, the fact he can play the outside corner, the nickel to some degree, maybe not great at the nickel, but then he can play both safety spots. So that's basically 4 positions on the field you can get with one guy. I really like him. The problem for him is, man, there are just so many good players in that secondary and so many guys balling out. I thought he had one bad game, and he's had a pretty good couple of games after that. If I had to guess, what's your chances of him making it through to the practice squad if you cut him? I don't know, man. I'll say a 30% chance. Hendon Hooker, you cut him, what's the chance that somebody else acquires him? I'm going to say there's about a 20% chance he would make it back to Detroit. I do think there's enough NFL teams out there that are just desperate for a, quote, young quarterback. I think he would be gobbled up pretty quick. All right, last one, or I'll give you a couple more. How about this? Ian Kennelly, I don't think there's any chance he'd make it back to Detroit. He is impressed far more than maybe most of the viewers would have anticipated he would. But the fact he got to the point where he's getting his first team reps on defense, I think that speaks volumes to his abilities, how much he's grown in whatever, it's been a month since we started training camp. If you let him hit the streets, there's no chance he makes it back to Detroit. I've been wrong before on stuff, but I just think he's looked that good. And with being 6'2", 6'2.5", whatever he is, and having that kind of range, that kind of speed, closing ability, plus you can see how much he's progressed in a short amount of time, I just don't see anybody letting him get back to Detroit. Nate Lynn's another one on this list. You could probably summarize and say everybody from here on out, if you cut him, there's almost no chance to get him back. Nate Lynn, he's shown some real good flash. You can see the development. He's got the athleticism. Again, I'd put it at like a 10 to 15% chance he would return to Detroit. Dominic Lovett, I'm going to speed through some of these here. Probably a 5% chance. Broderick Martin, I know some of you don't like him, but I've seen some development on him. Again, these are my opinions. They don't have to be your opinions, but I'd say under 8% chance, maybe 10% chance he would return to Detroit. Somebody's going to gamble on that athleticism, that size, that mass, same as Detroit did in the draft. I'll just say under 10% chance he would make it back. Jackson Meeks, I'll just say negative 3,000. There is no chance he would be able to return to Detroit if you cut him. Somebody's going to take him. So think about a lot of these guys. Somebody's going to try to acquire them via trade. They don't want other teams beating them out if they are cut. They're going to go after him. Isaac Ukwa, also under 10%. Last one on this list, we talk about Hollett being all over the place as far as versatility. Well, same with Nick Whiteside. I think there's about a 2% chance he would make it back to Detroit. If you need quarterbacks, you need cornerbacks also at an egregious rate in the NFL. He has shown real well. He is one of the few Lion DBs out there other than Kennelly, who's over 6 foot. Terrion Arnold's obviously not going to get cut. He's over 6 foot. But Nick Whiteside would be one of the few Lions corners out there. If they keep him, that has some size. He's pretty dang good, actually, in man coverage. He does a lot of good stuff out there. Where would he fall on the list? I don't know, but I think if you cut him, he's not making it back. And you can see the problem MCDC, Dan Campbell are going to have with all these guys. Think about all these names we've thrown out there, and a lot of you guys in the Duke crew would say, man, that guy should be a Detroit Lion. That guy should be a Detroit Lion. He's pretty good. You can't keep them all. 53 people are going to be safe. After that, you got the practice squad. Yes, you do get to protect 4 people on the practice squad, but they've got to make it to your practice squad. So we'll see what shakes out, but I think we all get it. There's a whole lot of people with some talent on this lineup here. Went on way too long with that, but that's okay. All right, Lions, Aidan Hutchinson addresses eligibility for historic extension. Quote, been pretty hands-off with the process. CBS Sports, Jordan, boy, I'm going to kill this last one. Dijon. So here's what we know. Aidan Hutchinson's going to get paid by the Detroit Lions at some point. When is it going to happen? Man, I don't know. I'm surprised, to be honest, it hasn't happened already. If I was the GM, I'd be trying to use some of this camp this year to help augment future years. Also, I'd want to lock him into today's prices, not 2026 prices. All that being said, the only reason why I could imagine why the Lions haven't signed him yet is just they want to see him in actual football, see how that leg holds up, protect themselves a little bit. I understand that mindset. I'm just not so sure if that's really what I would do, but you know what? They don't ask me. Again, a story that's probably self-writing here. Aidan Hutchinson's going to ball out this year. We've heard all throughout training camp how good he's looked. The fact that they had to put in specific rules to slow him down during training camp because he was disrupting the plays that much. I think Hutch is in for a monster season. I think the Detroit Lions defense is going to be far better than advertised. Doesn't matter what I think, though. You got to go out and do it. All right, last of the 5 headlines out. Lions training camp winners and losers. Aidan Hutchinson, a force. Aidan Hooker, a dud. Story by Rainer Saban of the Detroit Free Press. Probably another story I'll go on too long with, but please forgive me. It is Saturday. It is leading up to the final preseason game. Who do you guys have as the winners and losers? It's a good question. But I think we've got a whole lot of them as we've got to talk about, Aidan Hooker. I know we're all torn on him. Some of you guys absolutely want to keep him. Some of you don't. Some of you want to just move on. I just wish the guy well. I think there's enough there from a developmental standpoint to want to keep him. But with that being said, we've talked about it a lot this past week. If you keep 3 quarterbacks, you are cutting talent somewhere else. Third quarterback's probably only going to get in an emergency situation. Whoever's on your practice squad can be that emergency quarterback if you deem. That's why I think there's probably going to be the Lions' third quarterback will be on the practice squad, be one of the protected people. We'll see if that pans out, and whether or not that's Aidan Hooker, I don't know. I don't think they've announced who the starting quarterback is going to be today. It's my anticipation that it's going to be Aidan Hooker the entire game, and good for him, man. Just go out there 4 quarters, let it rip. If you throw 50 picks, who really cares at this point? Because you know what? Your fate's probably already sealed. The only thing I think you can do is elevate from here. So maybe from that perspective, he's not a loser. He's a winner. All right, let's go to the winners, though, to start this off. Aidan Hutchinson, not a surprise there. I mean, if you had any questions going into training camp or OTAs, those things have been answered. Nobody's talking about the leg. They're just talking about the force, the unstoppable force that is Aidan Hutchinson. And he's been looking awesome out there. I was happy to say, or see, I should say, that Robert Porcher, the former all-world defensive end for the Detroit Lions, was at training camp talking to Aidan Hutchinson, and you know what? Good for them, because that guy, he's older than me. I want to say he's like 56, 57. He still looks like he can play. He's in that kind of good physical shape. I always thought Porcher was one of the most underrated Detroit Lions of all time. Getting back to Hutch, though, Hutchinson understands what's on the line here this year. Anybody who does have doubts with him, he's got to put him to rest. He does have a bad taste in his mouth, according to him, from being hurt last year, seeing what happened with the defense and the team after his departure because of the broken leg he suffered in Dallas. I think he's going to come out, and if we saw force last year, I think we're going to see a bigger force from him this year. All right, next on the list, winner, Kyle Allen. Not a huge surprise here, but he was kind of a journeyman quarterback. Seems like he's got a home now with the Detroit Lions. He's done nothing but look better and better with every preseason game. The last outing, his accuracy was, virtually perfect. I know he missed on 3 passes. All 3 of those passes were literally just off somebody's fingertips. Couple of inches, game of inches, right? Otherwise, he could have been 17 out of 17. One of the biggest winners in the NFL might be the Detroit Lions because they have one of the biggest winners in training camp, and that is Isaac TeSlaa. TeSlaa, everybody's talking about, is he going to be a day one starter? I don't know. Could he be? Absolutely. He's got the size. He's got the power. He can run. He can pass. He can run block. Is there anything he can't do? Then if you got questions about what he can do, I'm guessing at this point they've been answered. Since he came off the board in April's draft, there have been a lot of people curious about him. That curiosity has led to some real big smiles in Detroit Lions land because every fan out there probably to some degree has a TeSlaa jersey on their back waiting to see this guy get unleashed. He could go down, I should say, a year from now, 2 years from now, when they talk about this past draft and say, how did everybody miss on him? And then here's a bigger question for everybody. Selfishly, if you're the coaching staff for him in Arkansas, how did you not use him more? How did you not see the talent? Man, there could be a lot of questions about that in time. But his abilities to make play, to go get the ball, to run block, everything in between has been eye-popping to say the least. He's going to have a big season, I think. And I know I talked about that the moment he was drafted just because I knew about him. We talked about it, Duke, and I know some of you guys did not like the pick. I thought it was a home run then. I think it's a grand slam now. How about that? All right, Terrion Arnold, he did miss some time in training camp because of the injuries. He had a little bit of a hamstring injury, not a huge one, but they wanted to make sure he had all the time to rest up, heal up for the regular season. And he's been, what we thought we were getting when we drafted him, he's been all that. And I know last year a lot of people threw shade at him saying, well, we could have had Mitchell from Philadelphia or, this guy, that guy. The only thing I would say to any fan who does that, take a deep breath, moment of pause. Don't live in the past because there's nothing you can do about it. Just because another player is excelling doesn't mean your guy's trash. And what we're seeing out of camp, whether it's against the Miami Dolphins, who's I think all of us agree have a pretty good wide receiver core, whether it's against the Texans, whether it's against the Detroit Lions, because I think most of us would say the Lions have a pretty good wide receiver core. T.A. has been the man. He's been grade A out there, busting up plays, sticking with every receiver. He's looking like one of the players in the NFL that will make the biggest first to second year jumps. And I think that's going to be massive for our defense. All right. Let's see. 4 losers of training camp. Broderick Martin, I think it's safe to say this is do or die time for him. He's been trending up in recent weeks. I personally like the guy. Even though, was it on Tuesday this week when I put out my kind of first thoughts on the 53-man roster, I did not have him making it. I think a real good showing here today for the final preseason game. He might just make it. I know we outlined it why we wouldn't cut him because he probably wouldn't make it back to you. You can't teach size. You can't teach speed. You can't teach athleticism. That's something I learned a long time ago in coaching. He makes the team. It's probably because of his potential, and you are seeing significant improvement in recent weeks. Is it enough for you to give 53 or one of the 53 spots to him? My personal opinion, at this point, after what we saw this camp too, I probably would. And I know some people will throw some shade at me for it, and that's okay. But I think there's enough there where now if I keep him, a Cooper Jr., along with Lee McNeil, Broderick Martin, everybody else coming back, Mekhi Wingo, some of those guys that we just listed can play defensive end. Some of them can play interior. And what do the Detroit Lions love to do? MCDC, I thought, said it real well in a press conference this week. Hey, man, if a guy can only play one spot, you're pretty limited in your ability to use them. But if they can play 2 or 3 or 4 spots, man, that opens up more needs for additional players on the roster elsewhere. Broadmoor, is he able to play defensive end? Probably not unless it's like a goal line package. But he is athletic enough that when you've seen it in this preseason so far, if he gets leverage on somebody, he can blow by and get to the quarterback. So just for that reason alone, him being 6'5" and whatever, 330 pounds, yeah, at this point, unless he really lays an egg today, he's probably making it, but he might be like number 53 in a battle with number 54 and number 55 for that spot. Enos Rankstraw, without a doubt, one of the biggest losers for the Detroit Lions, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he lost all that development last year because of injury, and he's going to miss everything this year. So when he returns for his third year, he's more or less a rookie, or maybe like slightly less of a rookie. But this guy, there are high expectations coming from sort of like B. Mart. Rankstraw, I don't think was ever drafted to be a rookie starter or rookie depth piece for the team, or even this year probably have a big impact. But all that time for development to get them ready for year 3 where they would have been expected to make a bigger impact, that's where I think they've really lost out. It's too bad for the young guy because there's no doubt he plays his butt off. He's a missile out there. He hits people. He's athletic. He can't stay healthy. Aidan Hooker, we already talked about, so I'm not going to waste time on him. We get it. It's all on the line for him today. And personally, I like the guy a lot. I just don't think he's going to get a 53 spot. Practice squad spot, though, I do think if he clears waivers, he would. Tim Patrick, probably the other biggest loser out here, and it's nothing against him, but he has not played great in training camp. Also, coaches tell you with nonverbal communication where they're ranking people. If Hooker starts today, excuse me, I had to clear my throat. If Hooker starts today, that tells you, and especially if Kyle Allen isn't on the field at all, they're secure with Kyle Allen as number 2. We need to see what you can do, Aidan Hooker. We don't want to expose our number 1 quarterback, number 2 quarterback to injury. We're going to let you go out there. The same is going to be true with Tim Patrick and the Detroit Lions passing attack. I don't think he's going to play today. But with that also being said, he's missed a whole lot of stuff in training camp because of injuries. And when you've watched these joint practices, has he ever been out there with the number 1s? The answer is no, unfortunately. Khalif Raymond has been. Tim Patrick hasn't. Tesla has been as well. Dominic Lovett has been with the 1s. You can go through a whole lot of people who have worked with the number 1 offense, but Tim Patrick isn't one of them. Because of that, I do think he's really on the fence whether or not he'll be back this year. I get all sorts of people have talked about trading him. I also get people have talked about cutting him. I don't know what's going to happen. If you ask me right now, if I had to rank him myself, I would say St. Brown's your number 1. Jameson Williams is number 2. Khalif Raymond's your number 3. Tesla's number 4. Probably Jackson Meeks is number 5. And if you're going to keep a number 6, it is a toss-up between Timmy Patrick and Dominic Lovett. And the problem I would face in that situation as a coach, are you putting Tim Patrick out there to return punts? Are you putting him out to return kicks? Is he an outside gunner in coverage units? And the answer to all that is no. Dominic Lovett impacts the team and the roster more. Dominic Lovett gets that 6th spot, in my opinion. I like everything about Tim Patrick. I've said it for a long time. If you're going to keep him, I think he's got to be tight end number 3, which obviously can still play offense as a receiver, but I just don't see a situation where, unless we see something really different today, it's just a tough one for the team. How about that? All right, all that done, out of the way. Let's get on over. I rambled on the 5 headlines longer than I ever have. Let's get over to the main topic of the day, and I'm guessing we'll talk about a few of these topics in more depth. All right, we've kind of already been talking about the 5 headlines now, but what do you guys think, Duke Crew? Go through this list and going into today. This is perhaps the most talented Lions team any of us have ever lived to see. And the only other reference I'll use towards it is the 93 team. I thought that team was incredibly deep, head to toe, player 1 through 53 or whatever. But this Lions team, I think, is different. Even going 15-2 last year, that team was pretty dang talented. I don't think anybody would disagree with it. You only have half a defense for the majority of your season and you still win 15 games, that's a credit to the offense. It's a credit to the coaching staff. It's a credit to everybody, including the defensive players that fill in. That being said, look at this secondary. Let's start there. I've said before on different shows when they asked me what I thought the deepest or best unit on the defense is, I think it's the secondary. And it's no slouch to the defensive line, the front seven, the linebackers, or anything else. I just think this secondary is that deep and talented. There will be some youth here and there, but when we signed Rocky Singh, how many of you thought, man, this guy's a playmaker? This guy's, brings some panache to the team. I think after a few preseason games, we all get it. This guy can hit. He can play, 4 different spots in the secondary. Avonte Maddox, absolutely winning signing for the Detroit Lions when we got him. Again, can he play corner? Can he play safety? Yes, he can. Although I would say he's probably better as the nickel corner and, he play either safety spot. Rocky Singh, I think he play the outside corner and the safety spot. So, again, they kind of help each other there. Go through that list. We talk about Whiteside. We've talked about Kennelly. You're going to have some tough choices here. I think both those guys have a real good chance to make it. But that also means somebody else can't make it. You talk about the wide receivers. We beat that to death. But when we're done with this game today, you're the head coach of the Detroit Lions. You're the general manager of the Detroit Lions. I'm just going to ask you guys, who are you cutting? I referenced this earlier in the show. I think the top 20 cuts, number 90 through number 70. All right, those have already been figured out by this point. So now you're talking about 50, maybe 45 through 60 that's left. Who are you going to cut out there, or 70, I guess it would be, but 45 through 70. Who are you cutting? Who do you think wins and loses? Go through the comment section if you guys would. Start with the quarterback. Do you think Hendon Hooker makes it on the 53? Yes or no? Running backs, I don't think they're going to keep 5. I think Sailors, unfortunately, is out. But am I wrong? Let me know. Tight ends, I've said it for about a month now. I don't think there's a tight end number 3 on this team, which is why I'm keeping Tim Patrick as that. It's no disrespect to those guys. I just don't think any of the third options are really great options. And I'm not going to keep somebody just like, if you don't believe in Hendon Hooker, then you're not keeping him, taking up one of those 53 spots. Same is going to be true for me at the tight end spot. I don't believe in any of them. Zane Zylstra, yeah, he can catch passes. He can't run block to stop my mom from getting to the quarterback. So why would you keep him? I would Scooby-Doo that third spot. Offensive line, that's probably another big debate to have. Who's in, who's out. I would also keep making some phone calls to get a better backup center. That's me. If you could acquire somebody, because nobody's going to give one away for nothing. Defensive line, you get it. You can go through this entire team. Who's in, who's out, your best guess, because when we get to tomorrow, I'll probably give my updated 53-man roster predictions, and then we're all going to have to tune on in, watch on Tuesday what happens by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And keep in mind, even though 4 o'clock goes off the board, we won't really know the final prognosis for the team until typically 4:30-ish, something closer to 4:30, because some of the last-minute stuff that hits the waivers of the NFL front offices at 3:59, that won't become publicized for about a half hour, maybe an hour. All right, I've rambled on a whole lot this morning. Hopefully I gave you guys something to chew on. Let's get to the Duke Crew and see what you guys have to say about all this. Scrolling to the top of the screen. Give me a moment, if you please. And a selfish note, like I said, during the was it the Bears game or something last night? I know a bunch of guys sent me some messages. Again, selfishly, I couldn't answer. I was doing dad duty. My daughter loves a particular show called Demon Slayer. We've watched it together. She loves it to death. They have a movie that's coming out September something. I don't know, sometime next month. And just to say, Dad had a good moment yesterday because we got to watch that movie a couple weeks before it came out and caught her off guard with a surprise. And, hey, got to be a hero for a moment in time. All right, Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Back at you, JDC, morning all, and same to you. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. So you're saying there's a chance, exclamation point. Woo! There's a chance for somebody. There's a chance for a whole lot of these guys. Whether or not that chance is here in Detroit, hey, that's what we're going to know in about 72 hours. Johnny L, grit game day morning. Let's rock, go Lions. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. Amy Spray, good morning. Dan, the ultra fabulous Duke Crew, exclamation point. Gotta love game day. Everyone push those buttons, exclamation point. Love you always. Love you too, Amy. Go Lions. And back at you. Good morning, Duke Crew. It's really gonna stink being the 54th man. You're not wrong there, man. Stephanie, good morning, boys. I can imagine the excitement and nervousness that a lot of the players are feeling today. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you've been through it, not on the football field, but for those who don't know, I guess I can say this about Stephanie. She's played professionally basketball for eons, and while it's not quite the same in basketball, getting down to a certain number, let me tell you, anytime you go through a training camp in any sport, you get to this point where, man, you're looking at you, and could I be one of 5 people fighting for a spot? It's nerve-wracking. There's not a whole lot of sleep with a lot of these people, especially last night. All right, good morning, all. Are we ready for some football? I think we all are, man. We're ready for the regular season. Johnny L., let's get this game rocking and a rolling. I like the way you're thinking. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Hookadoo, the 54th man is your first loser, sad to say. No, you're not wrong there. Imagine that. Yeah, I'm glad they don't ever reveal this stuff. Man, you've selected 52 of your players. You're down to 2 people, maybe 3 people fighting for those spots. I'm glad they don't tell everybody, hey, you know what? We had you at number 55 or 54. Unfortunately, you didn't make it. All right, who's the starting quarterback today? I don't think that's been announced yet, but my anticipation is Hooker. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And same to you. Good to see you, Henry. Ain't that the truth, Trey? Oh, you might be right there. Henry Moore, let's get ready for some football. I think we're chomping at the bit. Jess, some really good players are going to be some hard cuts. I think Kennelly makes the team. You know, to your point on him, and I got to speed through this just because I went so long with other stuff, I thought Kennelly had no chance at the start of camp. Now, I think he's got a real good chance. Robert, probably Hooker. I'm down with that. Bo, I have to imagine just getting picked to play in the last preseason game has to be wary on the guy. Yeah, you get to this preseason game. Every team handles it differently. Some teams are starting players this final game, and if I was a coach, I would be playing the starters in the regular season. Would it be a ton? No, but I want reps. I want us to look as clean as possible come week 1 of the regular season. That is not an MCDC way. He uses the joint practices as those. To me, though, those aren't padded. They are different. Johnny Art, okay. Eddie Art, I'm expecting Henry to get the whole game. I would too. I hope that happens. For that young man, I hope he gets it. And again, I hope he just lets it rip, lets it fly. Johnny, are you feeling grit today? Question mark. Oh, yeah, we'll find out. Henry, remember, there are no points for second place. No, there are not, man. Grip morning, JDC says, Johnny, Art, my biggest wish today, an injury-free game. Ooh, that is a great wish there. France, how about them Bears? Question mark. I only watched a little of the game, but Williams fumbled and then took a big sack. Wasn't impressed with them from the bit I watched. I didn't get to watch it all. Again, I was with my kid trying to surprise her and make her day, make a lasting memory. Hopefully I achieved that. But I know a bunch of you guys did message me about the Bears game. JC, back at you, Johnny. Same to you both. Pat, good morning, all. Are you ready for some football? I think we're all really, really ready for it at this point. Jess, Art, preach on that. There you go. Jess, and greetings, salutations, do crew. Same to you, Johnny L. Hookadoo, I woke up this morning and my toes were curled. All right. Let's see, Hookadoo. France, did they play the Stars like the last game they played? I don't know that. I'm assuming if Williams is out there, obviously, I'm assuming that's Kyle Williams. Let's see, Drake, are we going to learn a lot about a few men today? They will be put anything they have left in them on the line to win that position with the team. No one will be holding back. No, to your point, yeah, I think you're going to see everybody give grade A efforts out there because you either win it today or you will lose it tomorrow. Or Tuesday, I guess. France, I think both teams did from what I could tell. Hookadoo, okay, good to know. Jay, my brain is squirming like a toad. Fair enough. That's some Doors reference there. All right, I'm pretty sure that Brand and MCDC have their minds made up now on the 53. Yeah, they could be, or have it pretty compressed on who's still up for grab. Johnny, I agree. Hookadoo. We'll stretch them toes and get ready for some Lions Talk Live! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah, I'm done with that. Johnny, laughing out loud. Let's see. Bo, Johnny L, to take a holiday. All right, take a holiday, man. Sometimes we all need a holiday. Just, I would hate to be the one making the choices regarding who stays or gets removed from the team. Yeah, it's no fun as a coach cutting anybody at any level. Bo, if you give this man a ride, sweet Emily will. Okay. Johnny L, that's for sure. Jess, Coach Rock, good morning, all. I'm sure about 48 of the players, easy shoes, ins. Then comes the hard part, cutting good players. Yeah, and we think about that list we had earlier. You got a whole lot of good players that potentially could get cut. Well, Riders in the Storm, good song indeed. Johnny Die, all right, fair enough. 5 figures ready. Good morning, all. Does Martin make the team? Question mark. Right now, man, he might be number 53. How about that for the way to summarize my thoughts? Do we keep Hooker just because we drafted him? Question mark. I hope not personally. All right. I know some people don't like him. I like everything about Hendon Hooker. I just think he's got all the tools. It's just mentally right now, I think he's just in rough shape. I think he's got to get over that. He does that, man, he could really sing out there. All right, when I took the dog out this morning, the air just feels like football, 100%. 15 days until we get the Packers. What for? Then some humble pie to Ben Johnson. I'm down with that. Steve, I think the tightest battle will be the secondary. Man, you're not wrong there. I probably would have said the wide receiver room a week or two ago. Now I might agree with you, the secondary. Xavier, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Hope everyone enjoys the game today. Exclamation point. Hope the Lions ball out today. I think they will, man. Everybody's going to be fighting on both teams, to be fair, and across the NFL. Everybody's fighting for their football lives. Hookadoo, into this house we're born. I'll take that. Coach Rock, good morning, Hookadoo. We all need to bring the grit during cut-down time. I like that. Bo, I wonder who plays the most center today. We'll find out. I don't know. Pat, I can see that, Steve. Bo, Hookadoo knows, exclamation point. Pat, I'm not putting Hooker on the 53. No way, too many good players for him to make the 53. Yeah, I can see him, the practice squad. The only problem is I don't think he's going to clear the waivers in the practice squad. Hookadoo, good morning, Rock. Coach Rock, I'm feeling the grit this morning. That's good to hear. Xavier, Martin, and Hooker better play their butts off to make the roster. Personally, I know I keep saying it. I think Martin has really trended up for about a half month now. And think about this. Earlier this week when he hurt his foot, and I don't know the severity of that injury, but he missed one practice. He got back out there. He has battled, unfortunately for him, injuries throughout his NFL career. Johnny, where's that confound bridge? We'll find out. Mary Smith, good morning. All, it's time for some football. I like the way you're thinking. Good morning, Mary. Troy Maver, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Miles Meyer, good morning, everyone. Last dress rehearsal for the Lions? Yes, it is. Tori, who is our center today? No chance Glasgow played. Yeah, Glasgow seems to be okay, but I'd say there's a 0% chance he would have played irregardlessly. So we'll have to see who they roll out there at center. Hookadoo, good morning, Queen Mary Smith, the Queen of Grit. Ooh, that's a good title to have. Angie, good morning, Dan Duke Crew. I just want to start the season 2-0 and sign Z Smith already. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! Yeah, at this point, we haven't signed Zadarius Smith. My guess is it will happen after week 1 of the regular season. If it doesn't happen then, he ain't coming back unless, really something unforeseen's happening. All right, Rock's got the Detroit Lions football. You got to like that. Miles Meyer, howdy do, Hookadoo, Rock, and all of you above. King SJ, good morning. Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, go Lions. Good to see you in the chat, as always, my friend. Lionel, happy weekend, Coach and Duke Crew, worldwide, exclamation point. Today we separate the wheat from the chaff. Time to shine or decline. Lightning and Thundercats. Ho! 100% there. And good morning, my friend. Johnny, Sonic, and Knuckles, Thunder, and Lightning. Here we come, baby. Yeah, and I think, man, they're going to have an outstanding season. Look at Miles Meyer. Where have you been, young man? We need your grit. Yeah, well, we'll find out, my friends. It's a good point on Miles Meyer. I know he was in here yesterday, maybe the day before. Mary Smith, them rookies better bring the grit today. Last chance. Good luck to all of them. Yeah, the ones that will be playing, and I don't think there'll be many. If it was up to me, Mary, there's no chance Tesla plays. Obviously, Williams, Ratledge, I don't think they're going to play. The only one I could see really being out there, because the other ones are hurt, unless there's something I'm not considering, would be Dominic Lovett trying to earn a spot. Susan, after today, we have what? Question mark, 2 weeks until the season starts. Yeah, about that indeed. Coach Rock, good to see you, Miles Meyer, bringing the Lions' share of the grit this morning. I'll take that. Mary Smith, Hookadoo, good morning, Mr. Grit himself. Ooh, there you go. Johnny, this is fun. You got to have fun in the crew, right? Let's see, Pat, how many players can we keep on the practice squad? I think it's 16. Somebody can double check that, but that sounds right in my head without a morning Mountain Dew. 16 and you protect 4. Let's see, Gary, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, Gary. There's always something about Gary. Stephanie, it's always is, Johnny. All right, Miles Meyer, spent week cleaning out final tree slash by driveway. Hookadoo, got another full fire pit covered up with tarp. Pouring rain this morning. Have a fire after the game. Well, enjoy the fire, man. And that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that for the kiddo tonight. Make some s'mores. Lauren, backpack giveaway today. Exclamation point. I smoked 2 huge pork butts served today, too. All right, fair enough. Johnny L., here we go. The show is now, and you are now in the show. Church, good morning, all. Let's have a great day. Let's go, Alliance. Woo! And back at you. Just think after today, Dan, you can do a new intro and get rid of Iffy in the intro. I probably won't run them a whole lot, but I probably will from time to time still run that old intro. I like to rotate them, not play the same one all the time. But I am working on a new intro, whether or not you guys like it or not. I did reach out to Craig Reynolds, I think like a week ago, something like that, see if he would do a woo spot for us. At least as of right now, he hasn't responded. I did reach out to Jameson Williams too, but I have not got a response from him. But I get it. Those guys are focused on the season and the games. Rock, what was that close to being Iffy's last stand? Ooh, good call, Church. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Dennis, hey, Dennis. Johnny, you got that right, Stephanie. There you go. Jim, I hope the bubble players make the cut lit easier by player playing great and not making errors. Hey, I think it's just going to be a tough call for the coaching staff because so many of the players should play great. How many are you going to argue are going to make that final, 3, 4, 7 spots? I guess there's probably about 20-ish guys in that battle. Bo, today is the charge of the Fulham Hope once more into the breach. I'll take that with an exclamation point. Coach Rock, Johnny O, you might be feeling better today. You bring the grit. All right, hook-a-doo. Don't forget the marshmallows, Miles Martin. Good call there. Coach Rock, good news on Graham. Woo! Yeah, we dodged the bullet there. Again, if it's me, I would be looking on the waiver wire trades into the cut down to get some real stability at the backup center spot. Other than that, I think we're okay on the line. Johnny L. Rock, yes, at least for now. Coach Rock, you mean the Chicago Bears, hookadoo, laughing out loud, roast away, Miles Marker. Mary Smith, I'm so nervous about this roster. The good part is, Mary, it's going to be a talented group. That whoever we keep on the 53, that's going to be some real talent there. Who doesn't make it, though? Like we said, I don't think a lot of your first 10 to 15 players who are going to be cut, the ones that had the best chance at making 50, 51, 52, 53 on the roster, I think those guys are going to be gobbled up by other teams, unfortunately. But, hey, it's part of it. Miles Margaret laughing. Man Bear, good morning, all. B. Mirrored 162. The future with Mahogany. Ratledge looks so promising to me. I've drafted Ratledge to my Lions team on Madden every time he was available. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a PS5. This would be the first year in like 1,000 years I haven't played Madden, but they no longer have it for the PS4. I've been thinking about getting a PS5 just for that reason. I promise it would be the only game I'd play. Nine Lavers, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew starters. Exclamation point. We believe this will be okay with the Lions. I'm not sure what that word is, so I'll just go with that. All right. Maria, is anyone else getting ads during the live show? Yes, you will get ads during the live show, about 2 per hour. It'll cost you about 10 seconds of time to, one 5-second segment to hit skip, another 5 segments. So 10 seconds in 60 minutes, that shouldn't be too bad. Dennis, let's go game day. Johnny L, don't worry, Mary, we got this. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo, don't worry. Ben Over Johnson doesn't pay much attention to Bear stuff either. I'll take that. That might be accurate. Miles Barker, yes, Mary, YouTube started doing that a week or so ago. Yeah, something like that. And for those who ask, I know if you have YouTube Premium, it gets rid of it. I think there's a couple different platforms that you can watch it on that gets rid of it. A bunch of you guys say you don't see them at all. Some of you watch on a phone or TV or a tablet or whatever. Some of you guys say you don't see them. Some say you see them. It seems like the consensus is if you watch an hour-long show, you're going to get 2 ads. It's going to cost you 5 seconds per ad to hit the skip. So it's up to you guys. All right, let's see. Courtney, Bears for the Lions at Ford Field. Woo! Lions, 45. Bears 3. A major beatdown. Man, why give up the 3? Just to be nice, Courtney. Look at you being all selfless like that. Being a kind host by giving up 3 points. The Rebel, good morning. 2-1 in all. Exclamation point, question mark. And I'll take that. Good morning to you, the Rebel. Todd, considering he threw shade first, poor little Ben Johnson can't handle his ex-playmates cut on him. I'm down with that. I know there were some people that reached out during that video I did on this a couple days ago, saying this, that, and everything, kind of staying up for Ben Johnson. As a coach, I don't care. Have your own mantra. Mine is I don't rattle the cage. I don't give, bulletin board material. Ben Johnson clearly ain't worried about it. I would say, just trying to be respectful to Ben Johnson, he's taken some gruff at what some of the players are saying. You know what? If you're a coach, you're worried about what your former players are saying. You probably aren't focused on your current players. The Rebel, Green and Sanitation, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, back at you. I like the way you're thinking, Courtney. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Kim, poor Benedict can dish it out, but can't take in return. How did he last in the D? doesn't fit the culture. Might be accurate. Todd, Ben Johnson was a Patricia hire. That could end up being accurate. We'll see in time, of course. Mary Johnny L., I think we need a Mountain Dew. Ooh, I like the way you're both thinking there. Lauren, always talking about Circle K, man. I ain't seen one since South Carolina. Man, let me tell you, many of you are aware I do scouting for professional basketball for the Chinese Basketball Association and the European Union and stuff like that. I was dang impressed when I went to like a lot of different places in Europe, and you get out of the airport and you see Circle K's as far as the eye can see. I mean, they are even in the most, podunk little town, population 4 people. There's a Circle K. A lot of them have a maitre d', so you go in there for lunch or breakfast or whatever. They open that gate and say, hey, we'll take you to the seat. I mean, it's crazy how different it is over there than it is here, but I do love me some Circle K. Most of you guys are aware of that. And how I don't have a sponsorship from them, man, I'll never know. Lionel, the Bears will be 0-2 after we're done in week 2. Reality check for Ben Johnson. I'll go with that. Chris Steele, what up, though? What's up, Professor Steele? Todd, Bears won't be better than 2-6 start the season. We'll see. Johnny, if he didn't do what he did and then started talking smack, it's all on him. Kim, I'll take that. Mary Smith, Professor Steele, good morning. The Rebel, other teams are going to raid our cupboard. Yeah, I'll go with that. Bear, for our cut and discarded players. I agree with that 1,000%, the Rebel. Lauren, what up, though, Kurt? We'll find out. Coach Rock, good morning, Kurt. Hookadoo. Professor Steele, top of the morning. Courtney, that one game hooker, I want to be there versus Bears. Okay. Bo DB number 36, Holla, I wonder about him. I like him, but I mean, you can have the same conversation with about 3 different cornerbacks or people in the secondary. You're splitting hairs with all of them. It's just, what do you want to keep? I keep Kennelly because he's a rookie, and his contract, let's be honest, for the next few years is going to be incredibly cheap, and his upside is so high. He's got stuff you just can't teach. But I like Hollett too. I mean, I like Whiteside. I like a lot of them. All right, Kingsnet, 1973. Just seen on Facebook that the Lions signed Parsons for $45 million. Say it ain't so. No, it is not so. That is just a Facebook story. It's not an actual story. Sorry about that. Johnny, Mr. Steele, Mr. Grit, Mr. Sir. All right, there we go. Mary Smith, Professor Steele, your content was really good, John. Well done for your first day. Yeah, congratulations. For those who don't know, Kurt Steele got an upgrade. Somebody recognized the talent. They spent a couple first-round draft picks. They traded to go acquire him for for their publication. He's now writing for a new publication. So congrats, Professor Steele. Let's see. I wonder how many first-round picks they gave up for the professor. The Remote Laughing Out Loud coach, you started. Every player can make it besides Hendon Hooker. I just, it's no disrespect to him. I like him. I'm just not cutting one of the wide receivers, one of the cornerbacks, in order to keep a third quarterback. I think the Lions' third-string quarterback or emergency quarterback is going to be on the practice squad. They'll be one of the protected players. I like Hendon Hooker. I'm going to have a hard time giving up one of those other players to keep him. All right, Coach Rock. Bears fans will be yelling, why did they take a bum coach from Detroit? Could be. Miles Barrett, sub, like, share, copy, please. We'll see if we can do all that. If you guys can, that'd be great. Johnny, I can't wait for the season to start. Me too. Lionel, Titans have first dibs on waiver wire, correct? If Hooker is still around and not protected, they might poach him. They might indeed. Hookadoo, Rock, the Bears will make Ben over, take a Uber back to Chicago. Might be. Miles Barrett, share, copy if you don't have to send it, but it still counts good for the channel. Thank you as always for that, Miles Barrett. Hey, more good morning, Chris Steele. You have a great podcast. Yes, he does. He does great work. Hats off to Scouting, exclamation, wink, wink, and good morning. Back at you, I guess. See, Dr. Detroit. So does this mean Henderson isn't coming to Detroit? I would think not. I think you could trade for him. That's probably not the problem. It is he's not going to play for anybody who acquires him unless you give him a new contract. At least unless he does something he's not doing for the Bengals. Lionel, Cam Ward and his backup look pretty good, however. Might be accurate. Coach Rock, good luck with him getting a Uber in Detroit. There you go. Thomas, yes, we might be losing some good players being cut, but in game conditions so far, the opposition third string is better than ours. I'm not too worried. Fair enough. Leonard, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, and Coach Dan. On my way to the last preseason game, go Lions! Exclamation point. First pride, Super Bowl bound. I think we are going to the Super Bowl, my friend. And have fun at the game, Leonard. All right, Coach Rock, my granddaughter misses the woos. Hey, there you go. Just for the granddaughter, I'll give her a 1, 2, and let me find it on the screen, a 3. There's an old school woo. Johnny, right on Leonard. Hookadoo. Woo! Dr. Detroit. Woo! Hey, we're wooing it up in here. We got a lot of woos coming from everybody. Rock, thank you, said Duke Crew. The Rebel scene, film, and video on Hutch. Amazing. Yes, he's looking pretty good. DM5 Robert Porsche should be in the Hall of Fame. He was pretty dang impressive. He had about a 3-year stretch. I mean, he was always good, but he had a 3-year stretch. There wasn't a game that happened where he didn't get a sack. I mean, he was just destroying people on the other team. Mary Smith, y'all the best for that grandbaby. There you go. All the best for it. Thomas, it would be foolish unless he balls out, ! In this game with our tendency to get injured, to keep pending. We need elsewhere and look solid. Last 2 outings, super. Okay, great day. Hutch is going to be in the $50 million club per year, man. He's not worried about the contracts. He's focused on football, probably correct, or worth every penny. All right. Let's see. Rock, Porsche was a great talent in a poorly run team. Yeah, I'd make an episode just about that if we wanted to. The Rebel, yes, ! Play hooker whole game. We're shopping him, maybe, or just letting us see how much he can grow and develop, etc. It all can be true, right? James, how do pro football teams determine the 53 count of players for their team? Question mark. Are practice team members unsealable in any count on pro teams? So practice squad is different than the regular season squad or the 53. You're going to just say, hey, out of the 91 players the Lions have, we're going to keep these 53. You're going to have to cut everybody else, let them go through the waiver wire cycle. If you can sign them back, you get to put 16 on the practice squad. You get to protect 4 of them. Hopefully that answers it. Thomas, straight day. Then is, if Hutch is worth $50 million, pick 2 starters in 2026, you're letting go. We'll see what they do. Hookadoo, the amount of weapons Lions have is mind-boggling. Woo! I'll take that. Coach Rock, a 3rd and hooker for Hendrickson? Ew, maybe. Coach Rock, let's see, you said that all there, Mary. I agree. Johnny, Pat, I think 16 on the practice squad, if with that can be protected. Yeah, 4 can be protected. Yes, 4 protected. The Rebel, the whole league watching Tesla? Yeah, I would agree. A lot of people. We now know why the Philadelphia Eagles, Atlanta Falcons, the LA Rams, and everybody else try to acquire them and try to trade up and jump frog the Lions to get them. Miles Bar, Lions got the power, keep my fire burning. Lions got the power to keep wheels turning. I'll take that. Thomas Henderson wants a new contract. ! Ain't happening here. Probably not. Coach Rock, I would do that. Dr. Troy in a heartbeat. Trade day. The team can afford one $50 million man, but not 2. That's the problem with getting 2 edges. All right. Dr. Troy is laughing. Johnny, absolutely on the TH. Okay. Dr. Detroit, yeah, me too. Rolf, Kurt Steele, Martin has to go. Man, some Debbie Downers here on Martin. We'll see what happens, but he might not make it. Thomas Martin must clearly be kicking backside today or bye-bye. All right. Martin did hooker for Henderson. Martin and hooker for Henderson. See if they'll do that straight up. Thomas, Kurt, 100%. Thomas, Dr. D. Henderson wants a new contract. That ain't happening here. Coach Rock, say what you mean, Kurt. There you go. Dr. Detroit, dinner, I see you don't recognize sarcasm. Donner, all right. Kurt Steele, the Lions don't have room for project players anymore. No, that would be the reality of the situation. There's just too many good players currently. Maleficent Fisher, heading to Ford Field today. Enjoy. I hope Hooker does well today. My heart aches for this young man. Met his family when I went to the Atlanta game. Such kind, good people. Go Lions. Enjoy the game. Cheer him on. Chris Steele Thomas, exactly. Thomas, still like Rayshaw. He's got 1 more year, but if injured again next year, bye-bye. I'll take that. Johnny Hill, absolutely agree with you. Thomas Donner, Dre Day. Hutch at $50 million means the other edge can't get paid more than 15 to 16. Probably that's more than enough to support Hutch. Okay, Coach Rock, that's the truth. It's time to win the Super Bowl, Kurt. I like the way you're thinking. DM5, I never liked the Rakestraw pick. You might be right on it. Normal TA is one of me and my wife's faves. You gotta like him, man. I think he's gonna bring it this year. Thomas, Dr. Detroit, my band. Dr. Detroit fans just want to be good, don't care about a Super Bowl. Hey, let's win the Super Bowl. That's me. I'm greedy though. Dr. Detroit, laughing out loud, no worries. The non-laughers. A hidden hooker is comparable to a Sudfield at this point, always looking like a deer in the headlights. He has not looked great as of late. Michael, can't they use the these guys are injured on IR, protect them to keep via the 53-man roster? NFL has to be a loophole for them. So if you put them on the IR, you could bring 2 of them back during the regular season. The problem is if they go on the IR and you're going to keep them all there the full year, you can't work them. You can't practice them. So, I mean, you could IR them, but you're not able to develop them. Kerry, morning late, but made it. Hey, welcome on in. The Rebel, I love Tim Patrick. Tesla is just more dynamic, and Lovett is just so versatile. There you go with that. Thomas, Tim Patrick must stay. Why? He's done nothing but lose his job in 1 second in the season's injuries. Can't jump up and bite us in the backside. I'll take that. Bo, Coach was born a rambling man. That might be accurate. Hookadoo. Better late than never, Kerry. Mary Smith, good morning, Kerry. Dre Day, St. Brown is 1. J-Mo is 2. Patrick 3. Khalif is 4. Tesla is 5. Lovett is 6. The Lions will keep 6 receivers to plan for the future. And Tim and Khalif leaving next year. Could be. Rock, and those receivers are young, the Rebel. Okay? The same old soup, just reheated. Used to go to the club in Canada, the Music Cafe with Porsche, Waldrop, and Ron Rice. Ron Rice, now that's a throwback. Back in the day, Porsche, Waldrop were huge human beings. Yeah, they're not small by any means. Thomas, is it just me? Exclamation point. But I like Ronnie Bell more. Better route runner, blocker, and catches with his hands. Okay, we'll see if we keep him. DM5, we're going to need a solid veteran during the season and playoffs. We truly don't know what these rookies like Meeks and Lovett will play during crunch time against the NFL competition. TP is proven. He is proven. The rookies, even if you do keep them, they will get better during the season if you believe in your coaching staff and ability to develop. Johnny L, hey, CD, do you get what I sent to you? We'll find out. Coach Dan, what did you send me? I guess. If you send it during the show, no, I'm on the show. Egan, I know Sue has said a couple of interviews that he's still in an old team chat from 2014, and they still talk about how they feel when they could have won a championship that year. Yeah, they get really roasted by the NFL officials in that game. I'm not going to talk about it. If you guys watch that game, you'll understand the NFL did them dirty on 3 play calls all in one play. Let's see, Bo Thomas, I do like the way Ronnie Bell played, 100%. Hookadoo, because I was born lonely down on the riverside. Okay. Rod, we'll look deeper into who to cut after today. Yeah, I think the team will all be on that. The Rebel, the secondary is crazy. I like the secondary a whole lot. Thomas, DM5 TV, I think both Meeks and Love It will not be affected too much by big games because they already played in front of 60, 70, 80,000. But pro is different. It is. The physicality is different. No, and I hope you understand, Lord, I was born a rambling man. Kurt Steele, Detroit, Dr. Detroit, what up, though? Michael, hey, Hookadoo, was he living in a van down by the river? Find out. Thomas Bo, watch him today, exclamation point, looks more polished. Okay, Dr. Detroit, what, Kurt? The Rebel, there's so many players we could keep. Baby, keep. Yes, Doctor, what up? Says Dr. Detroit. Jennifer, late at Tigers game last night. Good morning, all. Good morning to you. How was the game? Dr. Detroit, man of steel, baby, exclamation point. The Rebel, come on, Duke Crew, smash all the buttons, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit them all. Hookadoo, the 54th man will be a beautiful loser. That's a good way to word it. Kurt Steele, Dr. Detroit, yes, sir, and got a new wig grid. All right. Thomas, 2014 team kept it together and slightly added to be talented. Could have won a Super Bowl. Could have. I think if you get through Dallas, you probably would have beat Green Bay. See from there. Johnny L, I can't breathe. It happens. Dr. Detroit, sweet. Congratulations. Exclamation point. Check them. The Bears could do nothing with Kansas City. Correct with that. Paperback fan, BGNS, Duke Crew, happy Saturday. Exclamation point. You a anime fan? That's awesome. My daughter definitely is. I mean, I watched it in the past, but she loves that show. And the fact that I was able to basically get it for her 3 weeks before it came out, caught her off guard, put a big smile on her face. You know, she goes back, like I said, home on Monday, and I'm going to miss her to death for a couple months. But she goes back and gets ready for school, and, you know, it was just a good dad moment. We'll put it that way. All right, Dr. Detroit, who you're writing for? Well, I'll let Kurt Steele answer that. DM5 Thomas, yeah, I like Meeks and Lovett, but not to cut Tim Patrick. Hopefully, with Meeks and Lovett, make the team. Meeks looks big. I might put him at tight end number 3 and cut Zylstra. Yeah, I think you've got a couple receivers who could play the tight end 3 role. Riley, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. Coach Kind of K. Hey, Coach and crew. Exclamation point. Demon Slayer is my kids, and I jam too. Yeah, love it to death. That movie last night, it was legit 2.5 hours long. I mean, like, they didn't have any downtime in it. And I won't get into it because I know it doesn't release for a couple more weeks, but I was just glad to surprise her with it. Riley, Dan, just curious, who is your current favorite player on the Lions? All of them, man. All of them. Michael, can I get me a Sheila Wu today, Coach? How about a 1, 2, and a 3? I got to find it on the screen, so give me a second. And there you go, Mike. On the Scrolls, Bears, I have depth and coaching unlike the Lions. Our first team will be fine. We'll find out. Dr. Detroit, congratulations. That is awesome. Well-deserved. Check him. Kurt Steele, what up, though? Kerry, Rookies are what they are. They're going to need development. Most have not played first-string plays. You don't know. Put them in front of the players. They are proven vets just for that reason. Okay, DM5. This goes. Your team blows, and your new coach will be fired in about 3 years. I think he's going to make it 3 years? Okay. The Rebel, I'm rooting for Martin. Me too, man. Johnny L, knock it off, Scrolls. Okay. Thomas, one thing guaranteed, TK85 practice squad, not great, not fast, but solid. I think, yeah, he'll probably end up there once again. We can count on him when needed. I agree with all the above. Coach Rock, oh, no, I've said it too much. I haven't said enough. This one's for Bo. Okay, Chad, good morning, Coach Dan and the awesome Duke Crew family. Woo! Dealing with some loss today. Lost my pup. Oh, man, sorry to hear of that. Thoughts and prayers for you, man. Hoping Lions raised my spirits today. Again, thoughts and prayers, man. That's never easy, man. Look at you. Imagine that. I just got an ad and the Bears troll shows up. Oh, how about that? Could be a connection. Tell the Hun, Canelli, no chance. I told you early on Ian was making it. He might just make it, my friend. He might just make it. The Rebel, I'm ready. Can't wait. I'll take that. Bo, oh, Rock, you got one by me. All right. Dre Day, Gary, correct. Only Tesla has played with the starters, but Meeks and Lovett have not, so they are on equal footing to be off the team. It could be. Johnny, right on Hookadoo, non-laughers. KC's firsts beat up Bears first, so happy to see. My hate for Pat Mahomes is just a little less than Ben Johnson. Fair enough. Michael, Broski, Bear, New Scrolls. I don't know, man. I think Broski's been banned on here. I think it's somewhere in the 50s, like 50 different accounts. One account asked for him to come back. I was like, sure, you got to pay a $50 fine if you want him to return. So let me know if you're going to send that over. I'll give him one more chance because he's been on some other shows and apparently has calmed down a little bit. I'll give him one more chance, but he's got to pay the fine. If he gets banned again, then he's got to pay a larger fine. You know, I'm the commissioner here. Got to pay those fines, right? Mary, where's the game showing today? I'm not 100% sure with that, Mary. Somebody will have to Scooby-Doo that for you. Can't keep them all, says the Rebel. Thomas, I know MCDC likes hard practice with with other teams, but to me, there is nothing at all close to real games reps. I'll agree with that. I pray Hooker plays at least 3/4. Probably will. Gary, give Hendon the game to prove his worth. Same with Martin and Scoresdale. Scoresdale's out for the season. Martin is not, though. Lauren, only UFL guy I see staying was already a Lion. The man, the myth, the legend, Legatron, Jake Bates. Could be right. Scores that out for the year. Correct for that, Thomas. Mary, never mind. Game will be on facts. There you go. The Rebel. And then Hooker is Trey Lance possibly. Hey, Trey Lance is developed, in my opinion. I thought, man, the 49ers gave up on him way too quick. But then again, Brock Purdy was panning out. Thomas, want Manu to play better? He's getting better, I think, my friend. He needs to keep DEs from getting to his body, all right? Dre Day, the Rebel, 8, probably 2 trades later. He can be a decent backup, probably. Might be. Coach Rock, Hooker just looks like a newbie out there. I think he's feeling the pressure. I agree with that. He's afraid to make a mistake, and we know what happens when you play like that. You are make Steaksville. There you go. Jacob, let the professionals do their jobs and sit back and enjoy it. It's going to be a great season. I like the way you're thinking. Riley, what do you guys think the Lions start 2-0? I think it's a high probability. I mean, could obviously always get tripped up, but I think they got a good chance. No losing my religion, exclamation point. Took a minute. Walt Marks, good morning. Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. The Rebel word for today is health, health, health. Stay healthy. Walt Marks made the last show. Woo! Congratulations, my friend. Same old soup, just reheated. Me, nerve-wracking cut down in recent memory. All right. Yeah, might be the most nerve-wracking cut down, even though I messed that up for you there. Dre Day, definitely 2-0. If we go 3-0, then I would feel more confident about the Super Bowl bound. Yeah, I think we'd all feel pretty good about things. Thomas, it's a shame each NFL team can't have a spring league 6-game season for players needing reps. Hooker would be the biggest benefactor. Yeah, my guess is he might end up in the UFL, and that might be good for him, man. Check him. Chiefs play all their starters for a whole half. Maybe they know something that we don't because they've been to the 5 out of the 6 Super Bowls. It is part of Andy Reid's philosophy to play starters in the preseason, and I think it's a benefit. How long in the season is a benefit? I don't know, but I'd say definitely for week 1. Thomas, I agree, says DM5. Thomas, make no mistake, according to Green Bay and Chicago, they have a Super Bowl game in the first 2 weeks. Lions better be ready. I think they will be. Mary, the Rebel 8, 100%. Rock, reach out to J-Mo's mom. She will get the intro for you. I'll see what I can do. JDC, born and bred to rip and shred. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Michael, didn't include the playoffs. Refs take them in the 5 to 6 years they were there. Maybe. They're probably getting Hall of Fame jerseys for the Chiefs. DM5, Coach Dan, you could probably get some of the former Lions getting your intro. I have reached out to a couple of them. I think I could get a few of them. Maybe even the GOAT Barry Sanders. Maybe indeed. Hey, Coach Rock. That's a good idea for Mr. Hassani. There you go. Kerry, I ain't scared. I'm glad to hear. Johnny L., I'm out of here. See you all tomorrow morning. Peace out and good go Lions. Let's do this. Let's do this indeed. Jacob, why are people keep talking about the ads on the show? Dan has the right to run his show the way he wants, so stop it. Yeah, if they're over the top, let me know. But it sounds like from what you guys have told me, there are 2 ads in an hour. It takes 5 seconds per ad to hit skip. 10 seconds out of 60 minutes, is that really that big a deal? Maybe to some it is. I don't know. Riley, yes, 2-0. Roy, JK, Ravens game will be revealed. Who Lions are? It might be. Thomas, I really do not see anyone we cut. Any other team would be willing for a trade for? Yeah, I mean, man, I messed that up, but you get it. They would be willing to trade. Kerry, go Lions. Woo! Yeah, see you tomorrow. Johnny, always great to have your grit. I agree. The DM5, Eagles and Commanders 2. Henry Moore, have a glorious day and weekend. Blessings to you all. Go Lions. Thomas, my biggest bummer, not seeing Hassan go wild. God bless him. Quick recovery. I hope he's back real quick. JK DM5 TV, yes, sir. Jacob, no Mountain Dew for me, but I'll surely buy one for you. Hey, thank you for that. Miles Bar, yay. Kurt Steele, congrats. Gary, Lions aren't paying millions for anyone at this point except a quarterback. All right. Miles Meyer, woo! And same to you. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. We're going to do happy trails, do crew, run pride worldwide. Woo! Miles Meyer, Roar Lions UK covering game in live stream today. Yes, indeed, they will. I will have live streams, but once the season's here. Gary, happy trails, Signs Z. Enjoy your Saturday. Stay safe, go Lions. Woo! Look at Miles Marker, thumbs up. JK, last day of deer strings to steal a spot. Prof. All right. Jake, Bo, happy trails, do crew. You see it, game time. We'll see you then. Jennifer, great game. Was wonderful. 7-5 win and fireworks. Enjoying them fireworks. Miles Mark, gotta love a good dad moment. I do try my best. Enos, let's go. Miles Mark, so sorry, Chad. Yeah, 100% there. Coach Rock, sorry to hear, Chad. Rock, got to, you got it, Bo Reem. All right. Mark, Hendon has no confidence. I'd say that might be accurate right now. Hookadoo, Chad, they are family. My heart goes out to you. Yeah, chin up. Miles Mark, one pride worldwide. Jess, have a nice day coaching the Lions. Back at you. Thomas, smash like. All right, guys, if there was breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be a good human being. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. And I got to find that one.